welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the bank with my little man Joshy, and we're in search of those dinosaur fish, the Mosasaurus, or as most of us call us in the angling world, Mr. Pike. So over the weekend temperatures have dropped down to minus figures, and this Sunday you join us on the bank, and as you can see it's white all over. There's been harsh frost around the last couple of days and it is just beautiful to be out on the bank. We've got a couple of reed beds next to us that are just that vibrant brown colour against that white backdrop, and with that bright red flow out in the water, it is a beautiful morning to be on the bank. So this is a venue that we did fish in the summer. We had plenty of silvers on the float and we did get hounded by Mr. Pike. The water then was clear. Now, as you can see, it's got a lot of colour because before the frost there was a lot of rain. So I'm hoping today to play on that centre smell with the pike, and we've got out two smelly baits. As you can see on screen now, we've gone with a mackerel and a sardine. So the session where we fished for silvers was the first session on here, and this is my first ever session on here for pike. So I'm hoping that we can get a pike on the bank. Now the pike we saw on the day were jacks, so I am not expecting too much today, but hopefully we can just get one or two runs. So tactics wise, we've got two float setups. We've got one down the left hand side here, and it's shallow in the edge, around about probably 5 foot, and then it drops down into around about 10-12 foot. It's not the depth of the rod, but we're just into that deeper water. And we've got the mackerel down there, and we've got out here the sardine, again not too far out, just into that what seems like a drop off into that deeper water. There isn't a great deal of clarity in the water. You're talking maybe your trace deep in visibility. I have got the wobbling rod with me today, and you can see there I've got a smelt ready to go on it. So the plan is to start in this corner here and spend a bit of time, maybe have a brew, hopefully get a pike, and then there's a couple of swims over there. At 10 o'clock some carp lads might arrive, because that's when the carp lads come on, at 10 o'clock. So options then may change, but we've got plenty of water to explore. Looking behind me, nice comfy peg, and Joshy in his element with his feet up, waiting for his hot chocolate and his paddle chocolate, aren't you, mate? So a quick look at the baits that we brought with us today, and it is sheer luck that I've brought baits that can target coloured water. My mindset today was coming to a clear venue like we fished earlier in the year, and I was going to suspend roach and wobble like we do on the pit. I brought these baits here because I knew the better pike were, you know, the odd double to target them with a bigger bait. So I'd brought the mackerel and the sardines and the trout as an oily bigger bait to target them better fish if we got jacks. So really quickly after casting in, we got the first run of the day. You can see the float just moving off, and that's come on the mackerel. So we'll grab the rod and give it a strike. That didn't take too long, did it? The first run of the day, and we're attached to the first pike. The kettle's just gone on behind to make a hot chocolate, and hopefully we get the first pike of the day in. So with the pike set, pass the rod to the big man. Hopefully, oh, it's a nice one, Josh. See if we can get him in. There we go. On a cold winter's day, that is a result. It's a nice pike, that. Definitely bigger than anything we've seen in the summer. And we'll put him down there to rest, but we got our Mosasaurus, big man. Yay. We'll give him a rest, then we'll take a look at him. Yeah. The help of my glamorous assistant, bit on an hook in the pike. Underneath there is a bony cover. So you just slide your hand under. Be careful of the gill covers there, the gills, you don't want to touch them. You're between the gills and the side of the pike's mouth. A firm grip, you can see my fingers in there like that. And there's our hooks there. Nice and simple. First hook, and there we go. Always have a check down the pike's mouth, see if there's anything down there. And there we go, what a lovely start to that first session. Double figure pike, 11 pounds and a few ounces, more than made up. Well worth the effort, getting out this morning in -2. Me and my little lad out piking, creating memories. I can't tell you how happy I am with that result. Like I say, when we come in summer there was a lot of jacks, and I knew there was the odd double in, but to get one straight away, proper made up. I've got a celebratory coffee on, Joshua's hot chocolate, and today we've got some celebratory panel chocolates on as well. Spinning around, the rods now are back in. We've got that on the sardine and back out on the mackerel, and we owe this brew to that gentleman in that swim over there, carp lad who just turned up. Lovely gentleman. We forgot our lighter today, and on the way through he had a spare one and he's left it with us, so thank you to that gentleman there. We're going to have a nice celebratory brew. And again, do we need oils in piking? There's hardly any visibility in this water. There was no visibility in a recent vlog and we put no oil on, so it does beg the question, in pike fishing, do the oils work? So I'd say that's a smile of a happy little big man. Just caught a pike, got the Mosasaurus. He's now got a hot chocolate and a panel chocolate cooling. Does life get any better, kid? No. I've got some bad news. What? School on Monday, mate. No. And as always, if you're out this weekend fishing, tight lines and cheers. And that float there, again, is on its way. The second run of the day. So we'll give it a strike and see what we've got. Oh, Joshua's definitely not moving, are you, kid? For this one, he's got his hot chocolate and he's sitting back. And Daddy's going to take this one. 2 bites in really quick succession. That rod's probably been out maybe 2 minutes. Like you say, Joshua's still eating his breakfast, so yeah, proper made up to get another run. So a bit of a disaster. The pike's come off in the edge. It was only a small jack. You can see there a bit of the clarity, but yeah, to get a bite so quickly after that recast. I always say in fishing, you've got to remain positive. There's nothing you can do about it now. Fish has come off, rod back out there, and we'll get the positivity levels back up. There's a mist rolling in, and it almost feels like, I know we said we're hunting for Mosasauruses, but it does feel Jurassic. You know, it's got that mist and that feel about it. And who knows, Joshy, could there be a T-Rex over that hill?
Maybe.
So on a recent blog I talked about the wobbling rod, and although conditions are not great for it today, just leaving it in the edge, keeping an eye on it, and keeping an eye on that line, and it slowly started to move off. And like I've always said, this rod has picked me up so many bonus fish over the years, and on venues where you can use a third rod, keeps you a bit warm in winter, but also picks up them extra bonus fish. I'm loving the quality of these pike. Like I said, the venue does hold a lot of jacks, but they're solid fish. But that wobbling rig, you know, I've just been wobbling it through a couple of times and then leave it in the edge, just underneath the rod tip. The second pike of the day, a happy Danny and a happy Joshy. So just recast the rod out there really quickly, put that other pike back, and this rod is on its way. And that again is on a mackerel, just into that deeper water. So I've just set the hooks for the big man. He's currently playing the second pike, and that's what it's all about. You know, getting him involved. You know, pike fishing, setting the hook is the hard bit really when they're young. But yeah, he's having plenty of fun. So there's Joshy with his pike, and these waters are great waters for kids to learn on. It's the first pike he's ever held, so he's a bit nervous. You gonna give us a smile? Well done, mate. Before I caught that pike, I had made a change to the float setup. I've moved it over to a pencil from that type of float really, because it's a lot easier to see when you're at the depth or over depth or just slightly over with this. So when it's cocked, you can see quite clearly that you're just a little tiny bit over depth, so it's semi-cocked. The same simple setup though. I've got 2 float stops up the line, 2 beads. You've got your pencil float, your weight, quick change bead, my homemade wire trace, and the bait of the day today has been Mr. Mackerel. That rod's back out now, and what I mean is, if I zoom in, you can see there just how that float is semi-cocked out there. It's not flat and it's not sunk. The weight will take it right down to the red, so I know that dead bait now is just on bottom, and if a pike touches it, the float will either rise and lie flat if it comes off the bottom, or go under and move away. There's a few more people on the pool now. The cart man over there who lent us the lighter, there's a few lads just been looking around here, so if we were to move, it'd be to the right of that gentleman there, but we might as well stay here because we're getting activity. So it's 2:30 now, and the afternoon hot chocolate and cup of coffee's on. Turning the rods around, the baits are still out and it's been quite quiet. Like I say, it's coming up to 2:30, and normally I would have moved probably over here or back that way towards the car park, but there's quite a few lads on. We've got 2 lads in that swim there, we've got that kind gentleman over there, and both swims that way are taken, so moving wasn't really an option. And we've had quite a bit of activity in here, so we decided to stay in the swim. It's the first session on here, and I've just been learning a bit about the topography of the lake. So the session does come to an end there now, and it has been quite a quiet afternoon. The rods are still in behind, and if we get anything else I'll put it on screen now, but we are about 3:45, so we've got about 15 minutes left. The first trip to a new water goes, it's been really good. We've had a couple of pike on the bank. Mr. Joshua managed to get his Mosasaurus, and he held a pike for I think the first time on his own, so it's been a really good day bankside with my little man. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave the video a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And all that remains is for me and Joshua to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and we'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.